In this video, I'll be checking out a new adapter from Linkifun. This is their GT7H3 AI box adapter, which brings a new form factor to their existing GT7H adapter with pretty similar internals inside, which is a 6225 chipset, 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, HDMI out to an additional display, all running on an Android 13 operating system. So a lot to go over. Let's first check out what's inside the box. Okay, so here's what you get inside the box. You get a instruction manual. You get the GT7H3 itself. Two means to power the adapter. You've got USB-A to USB-C, USB-C to C for more modern CarPlay ports. And you also got a mini HDMI connector here to a full-size HDMI connector to connect a external display in the car or an HDMI monitor or TV in your home, for example. And I'll throw that up now, how that looks. Okay, so looking over the adapter then, it is pretty similar to a lot of the AI boxes that we've seen recently. The circular kind of puck shape design. Got the Linkifun branding on top. This little ring here lights up in various RGB LEDs that can be customized to suit your car interior. Around the outside, we've got a plastic exterior with some perforation holes for additional cooling. Metal heatsink on the bottom for additional cooling there. Got an HDMI socket on one end. And as we come around, we've got a flap that reveals TF card slot. And we've put a card in there already. It does come with a 64GB card as well as a reader as standard. And then on the bottom there, you've got a SIM card slot to supply the adapter with an internet via a SIM card if you wish. Got the 8128 branding there for 8GB, 128GB of RAM and storage. And here we have the socket to power the adapter from USB-C. Nothing else to write home about really. That is the adapter. Just for comparisons, here is the lineup of Linkifun adapters. Got a few unbranded ones here because they were pre-production. But you've got the GT6, which is a very good adapter with HDMI in and out, which is a very good adapter. And if you like that type of feature, you can check out my link up here. That will take you to the review of this adapter. Very nice adapter. It runs the 6125 chipset, which is a little bit underpowered to these, but not much significant gains really out of those two chipsets. You've got the GT7H here. This didn't actually make it to the channel for numerous reasons, but mostly performance. We had discovered that early trait of adapters that had that video performance issue because it is an HDMI out adapter and it's a 6225 chipset. And as we've seen with the Brooks R6H, that also had that trait as well with the ability to remove it. So we'll be seeing how that performs on the GT7H3, which is basically a case change, really. The architecture inside is apparently exactly the same. All it is a different casing. So I'm a little bit worried that we are going to come across the same issue, but let's bring the performances between the two. And if you like the performance at the end of this video, you can go for either of these adapters. They're pretty much the same, just depends on what kind of case that you prefer really. Okay, so that's the comparisons over with. Let's jump in the car now and see how well this particular adapter performs. So I'll see you there. Right, so we're in the Cupra Born and we've got the GT7H3 here ready to get plugged in. We're going to get this connected on the USB-C connector on our CarPlay port here and see how quickly it takes to boot up. Plugging in now. Okay, and that's us into the main menu interface. I'm currently running this in its Style 1 mode, so it's not running additional apps on the side, so it's the fastest we can get into the AI box. So it hasn't got any sort of widgets or panels, but you've got this UI where it just shows you all the applications that are currently available or pre-installed on the AI box, and we've also got a few that I've added in addition as well. You can see we have a consistent side dock down the side here. This button would trigger the application view if you were to be using the other style. We've got last 4 applications that we've been running, some time and 4G and Wi-Fi signal if you've got those implemented on the box as well. You've got location, GPS, Bluetooth and the inserted TF card there as well. You also have a floating button of doom because it's not a side persistent dock here, so that gives you additional access. Pretty much the quick step launcher UI, no different there. You've got the Play Store to get any applications that you want, and we've got all other apps that we've got pre-installed. So let's go through our 4 application launch tests. So first up, we've got Maps. That's us into Maps nice and quick. And because it's native, it's going to be very responsive to your display and touch. If we set a destination, it's very unlikely that we're going to get any form of route guidance. No route guidance from the application. So not on my car system anyway, and I don't know of any that actually do that on the AI box. So that's Google Maps. Go into Spotify. That's us nice and quickly into Spotify, and then from here you can actually play all your music tracks, and then you can navigate them as you would do normally if you are connected to something like Android Auto or CarPlay. Wheel controls and everything all works fine. The call button is going to invoke the Google Assistant on the Android Auto application, which is currently Gemini. And then you can actually interact with that through voice or touch input. So that's Spotify, works well, looks good, and runs well too. And then we've got the video streaming apps. Go to YouTube. That's us nicely into YouTube using a fairly high DPI, so we've got more tiles here in view, so that's good. Let's do a Twitch test. As you can see here, we have the same issue that we saw on some other AI boxes, and this is the same issue that I saw on the previous GT7H. You can see the frame rate is not there. It's really laggy and slow. So the frame rate is very irregular. If I go to a talkie video, wireless CarPlay dongles have slowly progressed over the years, and we are now seeing makers switch their focus towards the 2-in-1 wireless CarPlay adapters, which offer the ability to also pair with Android Auto devices too. So, but as you can see, the lip sync is way out of there. It's not very good. That's 1080p 60, which it should easily cope with. We'll go down to like say 480. Progressed over the years, and we are now seeing so even at 480 it's not really in sync, at least in a car system environment. So that's a bit of a detriment, and it mirrors basically the Brooks R6H in that if HDMI is enabled in the actual hardware, you get this issue. Take it away and it actually runs totally fine. So I'm not sure if Linkifun actually do an update to allow you to disable that HDMI hardware. So YouTube performance, not brilliant. At least in this car environment, your situation might vary. Okay, let's jump into Netflix and see if that's the same story. Here we are in Netflix. Relatively smooth to navigate.
The overtake on Valtteri created this spark and this tension between the two of us.
That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant! I thought, you know what,
okay.
We're gonna
it's a lot bit better in Netflix. It could just be a YouTube issue. We are running the latest version of YouTube. Netflix looks okay though. Lip sync's not too bad. In stereo, quality is good as well. So it's very difficult to see where the issue lies and how best to correct it, either through them or through yourself using different applications. So that's video streaming. Another issue I saw or had with the adapter, or the 6225 adapter, is sound audio through gaming. Sound, not an issue. Normally that's cut off, so that's been okay. But that's the other issue, the crackling. This is a trait of the 6225 running this HDMI. I don't know why, but it's really, really bad that you've got this kind of crackling going on in the processing. But it looks okay, runs okay. There's not that many stutters, and it's relatively playable. So that's Crossy Road. We can do Subway Surfer. So here we are in Subway Surfer, and now we've got that problem. The audio isn't playing. We've just come from Crossy Road, and that sound was working totally fine. And you come in here, and the sound is not working at all. Now, if I were to go back into Crossy Road with it still not working, now there's no audio. It feels like if you clear all those applications, nothing's running, there's no audio that's being played, the sound doesn't work. And that's quite a common trait in the past. And the workaround for that was to go to something like Spotify with actual audio, play something, audio works, and then you can go back into the application and now sound is actually running again. So now we've got audio in Subway Surfer. And I don't really know why that happens, but it's a common trait of these boxes. This particular 6225 chipset of boxes. And a lot of the brands aren't so keen to fix the issue. But you can see it runs here okay. It's very playable to a point. And yeah, just generally happy with that. It's just that sound issue with the initial startup of those games. We're going to connect up a Bluetooth controller. So that's our Bluetooth controller is now paired up. We can try out a controller-based game. And now we're into the next issue, is the Asphalt Extreme game that you've seen me use on previous videos. It just doesn't like this game, and you can see that it's all gone slightly grey because the controller's in focus, and everything is running really slowly. That's really weird for the 6225. So it feels like there's a process going on in the background that's lagging this whole game down. This is the only thing that's running. I can prove that to you if I can get into here quick enough. See, I'll just tap that button, tap the screen, the button's not coming up. I try and tap it. If I do this, it takes a long time to get in, and then it's quit out. Really frustrating. Can't get in there. Yeah, I can now. So all we have, so now we lost focus, and now it's got back into focus again, and everything all goes grey. I can't come out of this. See how laggy it is? So overall, I'm not even going to bother showing you because it's just so frustrating, and the game would just be as bad as it looks here already. So we're not even going to go there. So that's gaming, really hit and miss there. Sound quality issues. Asphalt Extreme just didn't even want to run properly. We can do a dev check to see what the quality of everything is at the moment. We're running, all the 8 cores are running. We have the 680, which is the 6225 chipset, running the Adreno 610, which is fully capable of those games. 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage, and that's all there. So in the settings area, there is a section called, well, we've got HDMI as well. We've got that enabled, but that's not going to change anything. We'll go back. We've got a visual vehicle settings, and you've got a frame rate which is set to 30. I have changed it already, so that's not the issue. So that's just really frustrating. Another feature of the Linkifun devices is mirroring. We've got the ability to mirror our Android or iPhone devices. If you're a regular to this channel, you'll know that mirroring isn't good done over wireless, but I'll show you nonetheless. You just have to connect to the same Wi-Fi. We're going to use our home Wi-Fi here to connect to the adapter. So on iOS, I will go into the sharing screen, choose Apple AirPlay, and as long as you're connected over the same network, you'll then connect to this. Similar trait as we've seen on the Brooks, everything is now squashed down, and you can see the lag is really far behind. And for that reason, I'm not going to show you anything else, because that's the lag you'll find in YouTube and any other application that you run. So mirroring for iOS, not really fit for purpose. Back into mirroring, and we're going to go into Android to show you Android performance. Again, connected to the same network. It runs a bit differently here. You've got to use the casting option of your phone. Here's the option that you need to connect to. And that's us into mirroring Android. Now you can see it's a little bit more responsive. I say a little, it's not that as bad as iOS, but it is still pretty bad. You can see it's crashing. It's all warped to my display. There's no ratio adjustment whatsoever, and you can see by the quality of the delay, YouTube is not going to be that great either. So again, I'm not even going to go any further. you can judge how good it is really, and it's never really good, so I wouldn't even bother. So we're going to close everything down, back into the car system, and let's now move on to CarPlay. So CarPlay and Android Auto uses Car Auto, which you can see there, it's basically a rebadged version of SpeedPlay application. You've got gain was at 2 and I've already corrected it at 1, but it'll probably going to be extra gain. You've got wireless auto connect, which will turn on, and then we'll connect our iPhone and then see how quickly it takes to boot up from scratch. So here we have the AI box. We're going to go into there, pair, and that's us into iOS and CarPlay. You can see that the resolution is higher than native, so its stream is running at a higher resolution, which is quite bad because it should just be native and it's got less bandwidth and it should work even better. But you can see here it takes a while to get backwards and forwards between various parts of that stream, and it should be better than that really. We'll restart the box with that wireless mode connection enabled and see if it boots up into CarPlay. So connecting now. Okay, and that takes this long to get into Apple CarPlay from boot. Quite degrading in its quality. It's a little bit blurry in its stream because it is changing that resolution from native. That's the quality of the touch input. Not great. It's pointing us the right way, so it's getting us our GPS from the car through the AI box with that GPS option in settings turned on, but it's not passing through anything on the cluster or HUD instrument, so that's kind of expected from an AI box. Can check out some audio. So a bit laggy on the touch input. Wheel controls work though. And the call button fires up Siri, so that's good. Hi, this is Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and this is an audio message test using the Linkifun GT7H3, and this is an audio test. Okay, music's resumed, so that's at least a positive, but the negative is that the gain is still high on this, and it's an issue that we've seen on quite a few boxes running this chipset and this launcher as well. So do bear that in mind if you want to use this particular box for Apple CarPlay. Let's just do a call test. 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 5, 6. Okay, call quality not good. Too much echo, and yeah, probably quite a bit of a delay as well. So that's CarPlay. Let's see if it's the same issue or same problem in Android Auto. Okay, here we have the AI box here. We've got a tap. Looks like it doesn't like that. Just doesn't want to show up on the screen. We are connected to the AI box and the Wi-Fi protocol, but it's not showing up on the screen. So we're going to disconnect the box and see how quickly it takes, hopefully, to boot into Android Auto.
A few moments later.
No, not into Android Auto at all. So we have restarted our phone. Same that we're all connected to Android Auto. It says connect to your vehicle, connected, but the whole actual application doesn't want to launch us in there. So unfortunately, we can't test Android Auto, so Android Auto fans, this adapter might not be for you. So the Linkifun GT7H3 currently retails for $199, and using my 15% coupon code CarPlayLife, you can get that down to $169.15. So that's a much better saving over some of the other AI boxes that are out there. And I'll leave links down below to learn more about this adapter. Support the channel and buy yourself one. Generally, not good improvement over their GT7H that I've reviewed and didn't come to this channel before. It shares the same similarities and the same performance issues, unfortunately, and it all narrows down to that 6225 chipset and the HDMI support. If you want HDMI support and you want to use AV streaming, both of them can't work hand in hand, and that HDMI functionality in the software, the foundation, has to be switched off. That can only be done through firmware implementation. That HDMI switch in settings isn't going to do that. So because of that, AV streaming and general performance does take a massive hit in the gut there, and everything just snowballs down and it just doesn't actually work as well as some other AI boxes running the same chipset without HDMI. So you have to factor in, if you want HDMI, you will have to potentially suffer with those traits alongside having the HDMI ability. And if Linkifun do allow a firmware update that removes that HDMI functionality to improve the overall hardware performance of the GT7H and the GT7H3, which is technically the same box, then I might say that you consider purchasing this box. But we are seeing a few traits with the gaming issues with sound. We're also seeing a few traits with Android Auto. We can't even get that running, and the mirroring options are not even worth considering adding into your feature set for this particular A box. They are pretty much not that good. So generally a bit of a big disappointment here for the GT7H series of boxes from Linkifun. Hopefully they can do an update that fixes some of these issues and also gives you the ability to remove HDMI functionality to help improve that performance. But for now, all I can say is that there are better AI boxes out there than this one. So do consider checking out my link up here to some other AI boxes that might be of interest, and I'll see you over there. But for now, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, give us a big thumbs up and let me know if you have any questions about this particular AI box, and I'll try my best to answer them. If you like this channel and you'd like to support me, you can do so by sending us a super thanks down below in YouTube. You can hype this video, and you can also buy me a coffee up here, and you can support me there too. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.